going to give an introduction to the gospel as usual. Today the new chapter Mataji is going to start. It's all about Sri Ramakrishna's reminiscences, spiritual practices, stages of experiences, and realizations. So, Sri Ramakrishna arrived in Balram Vasu's house in Park Bazaar. Some other devotees also came to see Sri Ramakrishna. Balram Vasu played an important role in Sri Ramakrishna's divine way. Sri Ramakrishna once said that he had a vision of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu singing and dancing along with his followers Advaita and Nityananda. In that party, he saw Balram Vasu as well. Sri Ramakrishna often would see his devotees and disciples in a vision or in ecstasy before they came to him. Sri Ramakrishna used to refer Balram's house as his Calcutta fort or Calcutta's parlor. Sri Ramakrishna has visited his house 100 times, which has been noted by Balram Vasu. And whenever necessary, he would stay overnight there. Sri Ramakrishna talks about single-mindedness in meditation in this chapter. He says, single-mindedness is a state where there won't be any gap between the same thought flow. In scriptures gives the simile of pouring an oil from one vessel to another, falls in a continuous stream or uninterrupted flow. That is the state of meditation. Swami Ranganathan Maharaj says in his book, Messages of Upanishads, in meditation, we divest ourselves of all material conditions and feel our divine nature. We do not depend upon any external help in meditation. It is just bliss and bliss alone. Thank you.
कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं विगृह्णन्ति ये पूजिताजनाः. O Lord, your words, like sweet nectar, refresh the afflicted. Your words, which poets have sung in verses, vanquish the sins of the worldly. Blessed are they who hear of you, and blessed indeed are they who speak of you. How great is their reward. So we are starting chapter 39, the Master Reminiscences. 12th April 1885. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting with the devotees in Balram's drawing room in Calcutta. M arrived at 3 o'clock. Girish, Balaram, the younger Naren, Paltu, Dvija, Purna, Mahendra Mukherjee, and many other devotees were there. Here you can see younger Naren, Paltu, Dvija, and Purna are all young boys. And many of them were students of M in his school. Shortly, Trailika Sanyal, Jayagopal Sen, and other members of the Brahma Samaj arrived. Many women devotees were present also, seated behind a screen. Among them was Mohini's wife, who was almost gone insane on account of her son's death. Mohini, that's M, the recorder of the gospel, he used many pseudonyms. Many times we see M. Sometimes he writes as Mohini, sometimes he writes as Mani, sometimes just a devotee. That's why when he sent part of what he translated in English to Swami Vivekananda, he said, "You are completely hidden." In Plato's book, everywhere Plato is everywhere, but here you are completely hidden. You are not projecting only, you are projecting Sri Ramakrishna. You are completely hidden. So many times he doesn't use his name. Here this Mohini is his wife, it's James' wife. A child, a boy of about 7, 8 years old, suddenly he passed away, and the wife is so sad, almost gone insane with grief. So she also was dead. There were a few other afflicted souls like her who used to visit the master to obtain peace of mind. Sri Ramakrishna was describing the devotees the various incidents of his sadhana and the phases of his spiritual realization. Master, during my sadhana, that is spiritual practices, when I meditated, I would actually see a person sitting near me with a trident in his hand. He would threaten to strike me with a weapon unless I fixed my mind on the Lotus Feet of God, warning me that it would pierce my breast if I would stray from God. The Divine Mother would put me in such a state that sometimes my mind would come down from the Nitya to the Leela, and sometimes go up from the Leela to Nitya. Sometimes when the mind descended to the Leela, I would meditate day and night on Sita and Rama. At those times, I would constantly behold the forms of Sita and Rama. Ramlala was my constant companion. Sometimes I would bathe him and sometimes feed him. Again, I used to be absorbed in the idea of Radha and Krishna and would constantly see their form. Or again, I would be absorbed in Gauranga. Here was a harmonization of two ideas, the Purusha and the Prakriti. At such times, I would always see the form of Gauranga. So Sri Ramakrishna is describing the period of his spiritual practices. If you read the life, you can see he came to Dakshineshwar Kali temple in 1854. So then he took up the post of the priest in the Kali temple, and so you can say from 1855 to 1872, 73, he was continuously doing all these practices. So what is the need? If you think Sri Ramakrishna is an incarnation of God, what is the need for spiritual practices? God practicing for what? We do spiritual practices to realize God, to get our mind under control. But we don't see other incarnations doing spiritual practices. So is there any difference? Swami Sharadananda in his book, The Great Master, Sri Ramakrishna, the Great Master, raises this question and he gives a very nice explanation. He says we do not find connection between the actions, wonderful actions that the incarnations did, and when they were grown up, and their childhood behavior. We don't see any connection. And we don't see them doing any spiritual practice. Look at the life of Krishna, Rama. We don't see anything. Jesus, we don't know. All of it we know is after his baptism by John the Baptist, the heavens opened and they heard the voice saying, "He is my beloved son." But afterwards, what happened? What did he do? What did he do in his spiritual practices? All they say is he went to the mountains and 40 days he did. That's all. Then what up to then he started his preaching maybe around the age of 30. What happened till then? We don't know. Buddha, of course, we know we give at the age of 29, he left home and then he did severe practice. So we know that. But not many we don't. So why is that they don't speak about it? Did they have to do? And Swami explained that if God takes a human form, he acts like a human being. Sri Ramakrishna himself says that. When the divine sports, this is what Sri Ramakrishna says, when the divine sports as a human being, he behaves exactly like an ordinary plant and experiences wheel and go and attains perfection by dint of personal effort, endeavor, and austerity. Otherwise, if taking a human form behaves like God, then what's the point? Taking a human form is to raise humans to a divine level. And if he behaves just as like divine being, then how can the mission of the incarnation be fulfilled? So then when God incarnates the human form, behaves just like a human being. Goes through all, go to school, learn, then do spiritual practices, struggles, all of that is there, and then attain different realizations. And if you see, look at life of Sri Ramakrishna, how much spiritual practices he, how intense was his spiritual practice. Day and night he spent on his austerities practices. And that's why then he is telling all these devotees how he experienced, how he practiced. And the Swami Sharananda says, one reason why the authors of the earlier incarnations life, they haven't mentioned anything. Maybe because they think that if you mention the human weaknesses, that though he was God taken a human form, he had to do spiritual practices, then the devotees' devotion may become less. Then what's the difference between him and us? If he also does spiritual practices, then why should we pray to him? That is, people who have got very little faith. That's what Swami says. If the faith is strong, then they don't look for great power. When their faith is strong, love is much, then they just love the person. So when the faith is weak, then we try to avoid or describing the difficulties, spiritual practices, their struggles as a human being. Sri Ramakrishna jokes when he was suffering from throat cancer, and some of his disciples, devotees, like Girish Chandra Ghosh, Ramchandra Datta, they were all telling everybody he is God taken a human form. Whereas some others, like Brahma leaders like Sivanath Shastri, one day when he came to see Sri Ramakrishna, said, your devotees are saying that you are God taken a human form. I can't accept all these things. Then Sri Ramakrishna joked with him, see, God taken a human form. Does God get sick? What are they saying? So he didn't want to destroy anybody's ideas, the feelings. Sivanath looks upon Sri Ramakrishna as a holy man. That's fine. Each one will look upon the incarnation according to their understanding. He never destroyed anybody's ideas of feelings. The efforts of incarnation, so there's such people who don't want to describe their difficulties, they think that whatever they have done, any effort or any difficulties they or some problems they face, that's all just acting. They didn't really have any problem. They just like they acting. Even some of the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna used to say when he was suffering from throat cancer, he's not really having any problem. He has got up, taken upon this illness just to teach us. That's all. Otherwise, he is fine. And Swami Vivekananda, very practical, he says, human body is a part of getting illness is part of human body. If you are taken a human body, you will go through all those things. As Sri Krishna says in the Gita, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyati. It's all part of human body. Birth, death, old age, illness, you will have. Whether you are God or human being or devil, doesn't matter. If you have got a human body, you have to go through all these things. And you have to struggle to attain, realize God. Well, and also that act as a guideline for us, what we have to do. They're giving a guidance for us. If they don't show, who will show us? In the argument between Girish Chandra Ghosh and Narendra, you can see that. And Girish says, if God does not take a human form and show us the path, then who will show us the path? Narendra's answer is, God is seated in our heart. He will guide within us. Well, that's true. Sri Ramakrishna says, yeah, that's true. But we need an external guide also. So God takes a human form to guide us. During my sadhana, when I meditated, I would actually see a person sitting near me with a trident in his hand. He would threaten to strike me with a weapon unless I fix my mind on the Lotus Feet of God, warning me that he would pierce my breast if my mind strayed from God. Just imagine what would happen to us. We try to sit for meditation, try to concentrate our mind, immediately it goes off. And then within a second we would be torn to pieces. If a person sits next to us and they with a trident saying that I'll pierce your heart if your mind strays away. But he's showing this. Fix the mind on God. Don't stray this way or that way. And what is meditation? As we heard Nitya Prabhupada say, is the continuous flow of oil. It's like continuous flow of oil from one vessel to another. There's no break. It's constant flow. And mind does not waver. Another example in the Bhagavad Gita says is the mind is like a flame in a windless watch. Does not waver at all. Steady. Not waving this. If there is inside the room even fan on, flame will be flickering. But a windless watch, there is no movement of air, the flame is steady without any movement, motion at all. The mind fixed in meditation is like that. That's meditation. The mind does not move at all. The Divine Mother would put me in such a state that sometimes my mind would come down from Nitya to the Leela and sometimes go up from Leela to Nitya. There are two technical terms that Sri Ramakrishna uses, Nitya and Leela. What is these two terms, Nitya and Leela? Nitya is, Sri Ramakrishna refers to the absolute. And he says in another place, as long as the idea of I, you, and the bodily functions like walking, speaking, etc. are there, one must accept both aspects, the Nirguna and Saguna. Nirguna means the formless, attributeless, nameless, formless, attributeless aspect of the divine, what we call Brahman. And that is related or referred to as Nitya, the absolute. And Saguna is God with form and name and attributes, or even without name and form but with attributes. That also is Saguna. Saguna with guna. Attributes are there. That is Leela. And Leela is when God takes human form or any form. Name and form is Saguna. There need not be as an incarnation, but we have forms of Vishnu, Shiva, Divine Mother, Kali, Durga, all that forms are there. That's all Saguna. Name is there, form is there, attributes are there. Nirguna is absolute. Nitya is Brahman, which what it is, nobody can say. Because it is beyond mind and speech. It's infinity. And Leela, when that same entity assumes name and form, for what? Don't know. There's no reason why God assumes a form. So they say it is, oh, why did God create the universe? There's no reason. We do something because we have some desire to fulfill. Some desire is there, something to fulfill, something to avoid. Any action, if you look at it, there is a reason behind it, it's a cause behind that action. We do something to gain something or to avoid losing something. There's always a reason. Why did God create the universe? Is there any reason? Did God lack anything that by creating the universe he is going to gain something? Now we cannot explain why God created. It's just his pleasure. And what did he create the universe? It's nothing other than God. When you say Brahman, it's nothing other than Brahman and nothing else. The whole universe is Brahman. There's nothing but Brahman. So the universe that we see, we are all Brahman. We are Brahman, the furniture here is Brahman, the building is Brahman, everything is Brahman. There's nothing other than Brahman. So why did these forms come? Just for the pleasure. An example they give is, little children make play houses. Suppose you go take children to the beach. They make, using the sand, they make a house. And if you touch it, your child will scream, "Don't touch my house." And after a few minutes, just kick it off. Why? Why did he create the house? Why did he destroy it? Is there any reason for it? Can you give an answer? He said it's just playing. The child is just playing. God's creation is just like that. When Sri Ramakrishna said that, one of his young disciples, Hari, who later became Swami Tiriyananda, he said, well, it's maybe play for God, but it is hell for us. Then Sri Ramakrishna asked, who are you? There is no us. Everything is God. We see separate in different individuals, but this is nothing but God, nothing but Brahman. So Brahman is creating the universe, destroying the universe. The universe is Brahman. All the individuals are Brahman. The good person, the bad person, the virtuous person, the wicked person, everything is Brahman, nothing but Brahman. That is the highest ideal, that is Nitya, absolute. And when we come down, we see the different forms. We don't go, when Sri Ramakrishna came down from the absolute, not for us. Don't say not for us, it's a long way for us. But once we realize that we are in ignorance and we get rid of the ignorance, then we are in the same state. We have become that. What? We cannot say. What we were that. We realize that we are that supreme reality, existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. That is Nitya. And Leela is the same thing with name, form, attributes. So we have the gods with form. So Sri Ramakrishna says, sometimes when the mind descended to Leela, I would meditate day and night on Sita and Rama, God with form. At those times, I would constantly behold the form of Sita and Rama. And when he had the vision, other than first he had the vision of Divine Mother, Kali, but then that was in an ecstasy. Later he says, in the fully waking state, he was walking in the Panchavati on the bank of the Ganges. He suddenly saw a woman coming towards him, a lady, and he realized that is Mother Sita. And she came forward and merged in him. And he says he had that vision while walking fully awake with his eyes open. When Sri Ramakrishna says all these things, we read it. It's very hard to really grasp what he means. Because we are so conscious of our body, we are so down here. This is something very, very high. But we meditate on these things. I would constantly behold the form of Sita and Rama. Ram Lala was my constant companion. Ram Lala is when Sri Ramakrishna was practicing or meditating on this Saguna Brahman, God with form, one monk had come. These traveling monks or itinerant monks used to come to the Dakshineswar Kali temple and stay there for 3 days because the word had spread that these temple authorities welcome monks. If they give, they can get food from the temple kitchen or raw materials from the store and cook their own food, and then they move on. They don't stay, these monks, they don't stay in one place for a long time. 3 days, 4 days, sometimes a week, sometimes a month. Wherever they find it convenient, they may stay for a longer time. So one monk came who was following the path of worshipper of Sri Rama. And this particular person had an image, idol of Rama, a metal image of child Rama. And he was staying there for a few days, and Sri Ramakrishna used to go to him and sit with him and then see how he worshipped Rama. And actually, the image took actual living form and to accepted his worship. When he offered food, the child form came and took the food from him. Then one day, and Sri Ramakrishna used to play with the child. That he used to call Ram Lala. One day Ram Lala told this monk that I want to stay with Ramakrishna, I don't want to go with you. He was so heartbroken. He worshipped all these years. Now Ram Lala says, I don't want to come with you. I want to stay here. Then he understood that he has gone beyond the state of worshipping this image worship. He has gone beyond that. So though he was a bit sad, he gave the image to Sri Ram, the idol to Sri Ramakrishna and left. And Sri Ramakrishna says when he used to go to take bath in the Ganga, this little child Rama used to go with him and play with him. Sometimes would refuse to come out of the water, and Sri Ramakrishna used to scold. It is all actually super sensuous experiences. We read it, but we don't understand. God taken a human form as a child, moving with him and playing in the water. And one day Sri Ramakrishna says, he told that Ramlala to get out of the water because he had to go back into his room. Ramlala refused. He got so annoyed and he pushed his head down. And poor thing was struggling. Then he felt so sad. Oh my goodness, what did he do? Mother, Kausalya and Dasharatha have pampered, cared so much, and now I'm pushing his head in the water. So that is what. Ramlala was my constant companion. Sometimes I would bathe him and sometimes feed him. Again, I used to be absorbed in the idea of Radha and Krishna. I would constantly see their forms. Or again, I would be absorbed in Gauranga, that is Chaitanya. He was the harmonization of two ideas, the Purusha and the Prakriti. At such times, I would always see the form of Gauranga. In Gauranga, they have in Chaitanya, the Chaitanya is often referred to as the sun of knowledge and the moon of love. Both knowledge and devotion combined in Chaitanya. Then a change came over me. So this is all the stage of Leela, the Saguna, for following or practice of God with forms. Then a change came over me. The mind left the plane of the Leela and ascended to Nitya. That is the absolute, formless. I found no distinction between the sacred Tulasi and the ordinary Sajjana plant. No, Tulasi is sacred, we use for worship, and the other one is just an ordinary plant, a vegetable. It's not distinct. I couldn't find any. And again, he says sometimes he will sit on the back of a dog in the temple. There's so many, because people eat and have the prasad and throw their leaf plates in the rubbish bin. There's a lot of stray dogs are there. Sometimes he would sit on the back of some stray dogs and he'll be eating the puris, luchis, and feed the dog also. Both eat half, give the dog and eat the rest, like that. No distinction. Usually they won't touch the dog. Orthodox Brahmins won't touch the dog. Here, sitting on the back of the dog and eating. Because seeing everything as Brahman, there's no distinction of pure and impure, good and bad. No, everything is same. He's seeing the same Brahman everywhere. I no longer enjoy seeing the forms of God. I said to myself, they come and go. I lifted my mind above them. I removed all the pictures of gods and goddesses from my room and began to meditate on the primal Purusha, the indivisible Satchidananda. So he had many pictures of gods and goddesses in his room. He removed everything and meditated on the absolute, indivisible Satchidananda. I practiced all sorts of sadhana. There are three classes of sadhana: the sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. So depending upon our temperament, if you are a sattvic person, their practice, what we do, will be different from the practice of other two. In the sattvic sadhana, the devotee calls on Lord with great longing or simply repeats his name. He doesn't seek any result in return. That is the highest form of spiritual practice. You pray to God, worship God just for the sake of God, not asking for anything in return. And call on God with great longing. The Rajasic sadhana describes many rituals. Purastarana. Purastarana is a ritual where you repeat the name of God every day, increasing the number. So, say, first day 1, you say 108 times. Day 2, you increase it to twice 108 or 1008, like that. Then you increase it for a few days and then slowly reduce the number. That's one of the rituals. But these are all for the fulfillment of some desire. Purasarana, pilgrimage, Panchadapa. Panchadapa is meditating with 4 fire on 4 sides and the burning sun above in summer. That's called Panchadapa. It's all severe austerities. worship with 16 articles, and so forth. There's a lot of show also in Rajasic sadhana. The attitude of the tamasic sadhana is a worship of God with the help of tamas. The attitude of tamasic devotee is this: Hail Kali, what? Wilt thou not reveal thyself to me? If not, I'll cut my throat with a knife. Demand. You are not going to beg God. In Rajasic and Sattvic, you don't ask anything. You love God because I love God, not for anything. Rajasic, you pray to God, you please give me this. Tamasic devotee is not going to pray anything. Demand. What do you give me? I'll kill myself. That is the attitude of tamasic devotee. If not, I will cut my throat with a knife. In this discipline, one does not observe conventional purity. During my sadhana period, I had all kinds of amazing visions. I distinctly perceived the communion of Atman. A person exactly resembling me entered my body and began to commune with each one of the 6 lotuses. That is, according to the tantric discipline, there are 6 centers in the Sushumna, or spinal column, through which the Kundalini rises. Mooladhara, Swatisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha, Ajna, and Sahasrara. Starting from the bottom of the spine to the top of the head. So and they say, they picture it as those centers as lotuses. Not that there is a lotus in the human body, but you have to help us to concentrate and visualize. They say there's a lotus. Like Mooladhara is a lotus with 4 petals, Swatisthana 6 petals, Manipura 10 petals, Anahata 12 petals, Vishuddha 16 petals, like that. Ajna 2 petals, and Sahasrara 1000 petals. It will help to meditation. They say the teachers they have said this. A person exactly resembling me entered my body and began to commune with each one of the 6 lotuses. The petals of these lotuses had been closed, but as each of them experienced the communion, the drooping flower bloomed and turned itself upward. Thus blossomed forth the lotuses at the centers of Mooladhara, Swatisthana, Anahata, Vishuddha, Ajna, and Sahasrara. The drooping flowers turned upward. I perceived all these things directly. When I meditated during my sadhana, I used to think of the unflickering flame of a lamp set in a windless place. See, I said earlier, that's how Gita describes. Meditation is jnana. They're like a lamp flame in a windless spot. In deep meditation, a man is not at all conscious of the outer world. What happens externally in deep meditation? When we say we are meditating, we are not actually meditating. We are simply sitting, trying to sit quietly. That's what we are doing. And trying to fix the mind on the whatever ideal that we want to concentrate. But as we try, all those who have tried will know that the moment you try to fix the mind runs off. Something else. Then you remember, oh, we have to call somebody. We have to do this. We have to do that. So many things all the time. The moment you sit for meditation, all these things comes to mind. Other times we forget. Because our mind is going everywhere. But here, the mind in deep meditation, not at all conscious of the outer world. So she wants to visit 2 examples. A hunter was aiming at a bird. A bridal procession passed along beside him, with the groom's relatives and friends, music, carriages, and horses. It took a long time for the procession to pass the hundred, but he was not at all conscious of it. He did not know that the groom had gone by. And a man was angling in a lake all by himself. After a long while, the float began to move. Now and then its tip touched the water. The angler was holding the rod tight in his hand, ready to pull it up, when a passerby stopped and said, "Sir, can you tell me where Mr. Banerjee lives?" There was no reply from the angler, who was just on the point of pulling up the cord. Again and again the stranger said to him in a loud voice, "Sir, can you tell me where Mr. Banerjee lives?" No answer. But the angler was unconscious of everything around him. His hands were trembling, his eyes fixed on the float. The stranger was annoyed and went on. When he had gone quite away, the angler's float sank under the water, and with one pull of the rod, he landed the fish. He wiped the sweat from his face with his towel and shouted after the stranger, "Hey, come here, listen." But the man would not turn his face. After much shouting, however, he came back and said to the angler, "Why are you shouting at me?" "What did you ask me about?" said the angler. The stranger said, "I repeated the question so many times, and now you are asking me to repeat it once more." The angler said, "At that time, my float was about to sink, so I didn't hear a word of what you said." That is concentration. That is a state when in real meditation, you don't know what's happening around you. You're fully concentrated on it, on your idea. A person can achieve such single-mindedness in meditation that he will see nothing, hear nothing. You call, no, as is in this example that Sri Ramakrishna gives, you call and ask, standing next to the person, you ask, no answer. He will see nothing, hear nothing. He will not be conscious even of touch. Even if he touches the person, no. A snake may crawl over his body, but he will not know. Neither of them will be aware of the other. That happened in Sri Ramakrishna's case. Snake, he was completely after his Nirvikalpa Samadhi experience, he will be absorbed in deep Samadhi. Snakes crawl on his body, birds would perch up, his hair was all getting matted because he was not caring for it, and the birds would come and sit on the hair and look for grains of rice. Because sometimes he will be lying on the, most of the time he will be lying on the floor. Things get stuck, so the birds will come. They are not conscious that this is a living being. It happened in Sri Ramakrishna's life case. So that's what he's saying. A snake may crawl over his body, but he will not know. Neither of them will be aware of the other. In deep meditation, the sense organs stop functioning. The mind does not look outward. It is like closing the gate to the outer court in a house. There are 5 objects of the senses: form, taste, smell, touch, and sound. They are all left outside. So that is what happens in deep meditation. All these are left outside. All the 5 gates: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, everything is closed. They are all left outside. The mind has gone deep inside. So you call the person? No. Touch the person? No. Nothing. The person does not hear anything, see anything. Just like as such, the person is dead. Not conscious of extreme, nothing conscious of the outer world. No, not at all. That's why he says, the mind does not look outward. It's like closing the gate to the outer court in a house. See, in early days, they had big land in India, house, there will be, near the house there will be a gate. Then the extended yard will be there. So that's what he says, closing the outer gate, the gate to the outer porch. So nobody can enter. No external impression will enter the body, the mind. At the beginning of meditation, the object of the senses appear before the aspirant. But when the meditation becomes deep, they no longer bother him. At the beginning of meditation, objects or the senses appear before the aspirant. That's what the basic does. All these different objects of sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, everything comes to us. And distract them, take the mind away from them. But when the meditation becomes deep, they no longer bother him. They are left outside. How many things I saw during meditation? I vividly perceived before me a heap of rupees, a shawl, a plate of sweets, and two women. What do you want? I asked my mind. See all the different things of enjoyment. Money, cloth, a shawl, plate of sweets, food, and two women, sense pleasures. So I asked my mind, what do you want? Do you want to enjoy any of those things? He's asking his own mind. No, replied the mind. I don't want any of them. I don't want anything but the lotus feet of God. The mind did not want anything. Girish Chandra Ghosh used to say now and then that he could cure illness by the strength of the Master's name. Girish had such faith. He had, Sri Ramakrishna used to say, Girish had 125% faith. That's so much faith he had. He had faith that Sri Ramakrishna is God taken a human form. And he had faith that if Sri Ramakrishna wanted, he could cure himself, his cancer. Sri Ramakrishna said, no, it's part of the body. He'll have to suffer. But Girish had his faith. And he never disturbed his faith. So that, but he did not encourage these ideas. So he said, Master to Girish and other devotees, people of small intellect seek occult powers. Powers to cure disease, win a lawsuit, walk on water, and such things. Because Girish had the faith that he could cure illness by repeating by Sri Ramakrishna's name. It was his faith. But Sri Ramakrishna did encourage it. That is all occult powers. And you practice yogic practices, discipline, yogic disciplines, meditation, breathing exercise, you get all these occult powers. It comes naturally. But if you have any one at least of these, you won't progress in the spiritual path. Even one occult power, you will be away off the spiritual path. If you want to progress in spiritual path, keep away from them. Keep them reading the mind of other people, or becoming invisible, becoming small, becoming great, huge, walking through just passing through the wall, and so there is nothing, obstruction. All these are so many occult powers are there. In the Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, you can see he describes so many. Because they are part, it happens. We don't say it doesn't happen. It can happen. It will happen if you practice them sincerely, those practices. But Patanjali adds that they are obstacles to spiritual progress. Even Sri Ramakrishna says, even one of them, no, you'll be straight off. Because practicing them will bring ego, and ego leads to downfall. You don't realize how quickly you go down. And sometimes, if the mind is not pure, these occult powers people will use for for selfish purposes, that will lead to downfall of the spiritual person. That is why sometimes, many times we see people who are doing spiritual practices, they have fall. They call them yoga Krishna. They fall from the path of yoga because they start of using these occult powers. Sri Ramakrishna warned them all, keep away from them. Once, when Swami Brahmananda, one of the chief disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, who was Dhaka, he was in Bhubaneswar, in India, Orissa, in their much. So one of the professors from that college, university there, he used to come. And because the gentleman was coming quite often, he became very friendly with the young monks. And one day he commented to the young monks, what sort of monks are you? You don't have any power? They kept quiet. And then later they told Swami Brahmananda this comment of this professor. Then Swami said, getting powers is very easy. Building the character, that's the most important thing. Building your character, that's the sign of progress. A pure, holy character. Getting power, anybody who practice yoga will have power. That's not nothing great. People of small intellect, see what Sri Ramakrishna saying? People of small intellect seek occult powers. Powers to cure disease, win a lawsuit, walk on water, and such things. But the genuine devotees of God don't want anything except His lotus feet. Don't want anything but God. God will give you all these things. The devotee say, no, I don't want any of these things. I just want you. Sri Ramakrishna says, when Narada was praising Rama, Lord Rama, Rama was very pleased and asked Narada. Narada asked for a boon. Narada said, if you are happy with me, please bless me that I have pure love for your lotus feet. That's all right, but ask for something else. No, I don't want anything. Of course, one thing. Don't delude me with your Maya. This is one thing. All is asking for boons. He is trying to tempt us. I'll give you this, I'll give you that. As Sri Ramakrishna says, when the child cries, the mother will give a toy. And the child is all happy playing with the toy. We are like that. God is giving us, we are playing. When we get in some trouble, we pray to God. Then God will give us something else. And we are happy again playing with those things. Again that toy is broken and again we cry. Then we get another toy. Again go on playing, forgetting God. So that's why Narada prayed, don't delude me with your world bewitching Maya. Maya is, we are all in Maya. We are all caught in this Maya. That's why we are going on with this world, how happy we are in this world. But the true devotee, the genuine devotee of God, don't want anything except His lotus feet. Then Sri Ramakrishna says his own experience. One day Hridaya said to me, Hridaya is his name, Uncle, please ask the mother, it's the Divine Mother Kali, for some powers, some occult powers. I have the nature of a child. While I was practicing japa in the Kali temple, I said to Kali, Mother, Hridaya asked me to pray to you for some occult powers. The Divine Mother at once showed me a vision. A middle-aged prostitute, about 40 years old, appeared and sat with her back to me. Mother showed me that the occult powers are as abominable as the filth of that prostitute. Thereupon I went to Brother and scolded him, saying, why did you teach me such a prayer? It was because of you that I had such an experience. He was so upset. So occult powers are abominable. Don't pray for any occult powers. People with little occult powers gain such things as name and fame. That's it, name and fame, and that leads to downfall. So, genuine devotees pray to God for pure love. Make the heart, purity of heart we can pray. That's the only thing that we pray to God for, purity of heart, and also to give devotion and strength. To pray to God for strength and devotion. Madhya Pramali always used to say, pray to Holy Mother for Shakti and Bhakti, strength and devotion. Pray to God for purity of heart.
This week, we have a yoga class on Thursday morning from 10 to 11:15 a.m. We have the Friday night discussion, will be the computer led by Gayatri Banerjee at 7:30 p.m. Next Sunday, very special event, we have the public celebration of Sri Ramakrishna's birthday. There will be talks, there will be live music, and it will conclude with lunch. That'll be going right up from 10:30 a.m. will be open as usual, and we'll go up with lunch to about 2 p.m. And we will now have a guided meditation. Give me a couple of few minutes to set up for that.